Hello, my name is Gina Perino, and I just completed my case study. My focus child for this case study was Roman. He is 5 years and 11 months old. He is going into first grade in September, and here are some of his characteristics. So I noticed that Roman is very friendly. He's enthusiastic about everything, learning, and just life in general. He's social. His parents called him a social butterfly. He's a very good listener. He's polite, and he's very confident. So during my case study, I interviewed his parents and I interviewed him. So his parents said he loves to read, he has plenty of books at home, he attends play-based after-school childcare. So play-based means there's no educational push, there's no encouragement for reading, writing, or homework. He likes to write about his day and future goals. He has self-proclaimed himself as the planner. His parents say he's always planning things and always writing about those plans. He is currently reading at a first and second grade level at home. He reads with dad at home, and dad said that he's reading first grade and second grade level books. His parents buy him new books often and also writing supplies when he needs them. So I asked them what the writing supplies were, and they talked about a journal. So he has a journal at home, and he has cool pencils. He's telling me all about them. He told me that they're red, they're blue, they're green. He loves them. He reads to his little sister and silently. Once he learned to read, his parents stopped doing story time when he was younger. They used to, but now that he can read on his own, he reads silently or to his little sister. So now when I interviewed him, he told me he does like to read. And when I asked him if he had books at home, he said, yes, I have 1,000 books on my bookshelf next to my bed. He writes stories, and he writes notes to mom, and he writes cards. He was telling me all about birthday cards that he wrote, and he actually wrote me a card at the end of our sessions. He likes to write outside of school. He's always writing, apparently, according to his parents, and he also told me himself. He likes Pete the Cat books and books about Thomas the Train. So let's talk about his language development. So this quote from Gleason and Ratner: by the time they get to kindergarten, children have amassed a vocabulary of about 8,000 words, and they can handle questions, negative statements, dependent clauses, compound sentences, and a great variety of other constructions. So through my observation and the assessments, I noticed that, yes, he's not in kindergarten anymore, but this 5.5-year-old boy surpasses that. He is quite advanced. I can tell that he is starting to show that he has metalinguistic awareness. For those of you who don't know what that is, I hope that you do after this course. But metalinguistic awareness is the ability to see language as a code and separate it from its symbolic meaning. It is also an ability to think about language and structure objectively. So knowing about your language and knowing that the first letter of the word starts with M and that makes the sound. And then also he's showing that he has sometimes decontextualized language. So this is referred to as extended discourse. So it's going past the right here and right now. It's abstractly talking about something that's not here, not right now. As for his expressive language and receptive language, I give him a thumbs up. He can express himself in a multitude of ways, and he is receptive to language. I didn't have to repeat myself once when I was telling directions. His reading development, he's a beginner reader, and Charles stage is 1 and 2. I said 1 and 2 because I feel like he's 1 going into 2. His glows, he reads sight words, he reads at a good pace, he reads with expression, his grows. So these are things that he would need to work on. Decoding, looking at the whole word, not just the beginning, not just the end. Using illustrations to help with meaning. Writing development. So he's at the beginning stage of this, and some glows. He writes simple sentences. He has consonant, phoneme, grapheme correspondence. He understands the correspondence between those. He writes legibly. Some grows. He needs to work on his punctuation, and he needs to work on the vowel, phoneme, grapheme correspondence. Sorry, correspondence is spelled wrong. Let's fix that. There we go. So here's just a quick summary of the scores. So if you look at the concepts for print, he didn't do bad. He knows about print. The only confusion that we had was punctuation. So punctuation, and also some of the letter jumbles, those were a little tricky for us. Word reading list. So he knows his sight words, 15 out of 15. Writing vocabulary. Most of the words that he wrote were sight words. And also I noticed that he stuck with word families. So the top, mop, map, lap. With the hearing and recording sounds, he did very well with this. The only confusions that we had weren't really counted against him. So we had letter mix-ups, and we had vowel substitutions. So for coming, C-O-M-I-N-G. Instead of that, he said C-U-M-I-N-G. Letter identification, he did very well with this as well. The running record. So I need to work on running records. We read Follow Me Moon, and as you can see, 94% accuracy. This put him at an instructional level. Most of the errors stem from visual information. So he missed out on the middle of the word. He saw a W-A. He saw an ED, and he made up the in-between. So my lesson plan was on Pete the Cat. I drew from his assets. He said he liked Pete the Cat, so I planned a guided reading lesson that was based off of this book. I focused on, we did some word work in the beginning with the letter U. I noticed that when we were working with letter identification, he could say, oh, it's letter U, but he didn't know what sound it made. So I worked on that kind of word work with him in the beginning, just touched on it, and then we went and read the book. Our focus for reading the book was to use the illustrations to help with meaning. So we used those illustrations. Then I asked him comprehension questions, and then he wrote something. This is what he wrote. So his prompt was, what would make you feel cool on the first day of school? So he said a shirt that says, I can't wait for school, and blue pants and sunglasses. Curriculum. So if I were to construct a curriculum for Roman, I would go with a constructivist approach, set expectations for purposeful talk, model, and do read alouds. This would help grow his language. With reading, so shared reading and guided reading, I would employ those strategies within my classroom for him. Writing, active writing, and letter formations, and working on and focusing on punctuation. My reflection. So I thought this experience was enjoyable, it was educational for me, and it was educational for Roman. Running records, yes, I need to work on those. So those are something that I'm going to be studying and practicing even more. Timing. I wish that I would have met with him more times in a smaller time frame. So we did 3 meetings, 2 hours each. That was a lot for both of us. All right, that's all, folks. Thank you for watching.